Hello, everyone, and welcome to SONIQLOOX Conversations. It's our video interview series where we chat with artists about their music, their process, and the lives they're living alongside of their music. Today, we're joined by Jackson Culp, who's a singer, songwriter, and producer out of Northeast Louisiana. He makes music that he, I guess, labels vampire rock, which is really cool to me. And once you hear it, you'll understand why. His debut album, What Happened to the Schoolboy, is out now, and his latest or lead single just came out with the latest music video, and that's called Down Honey. Jackson, welcome to SONIQLOOX.
Thank you so much for having me, my friend. I'm very excited to be here.
It is very excited to have you, especially when I love when artists come on and they just released music videos or albums that they're really excited about. And Down Honey is right up in there. So it just came out recently, within the past week. How does it feel in that moment when something like that goes live for you? Is it relief, anxiety, maybe a mix of both?
I definitely think it's a mix of both. This video was like it seems like every project I'm involved in recently, kind of like a test, like I'm being tested. And so I love the process, but it seems like getting to the finish line these days is sometimes can prove increasingly difficult.
Yeah.
So because I'm trying to always reach that next, like I'm trying to push myself, I guess. So that's why it kind of gets a little more difficult as time goes on. But when this video came out, it was total relief because I didn't know if the video was gonna be able to be finished because I was having some issues towards the end of it because I was trying out a lot of new techniques. So when I was finally able to cross the finish line, it really was such relief. But when stuff like that happens, it teaches me so much more about the artistic process.
Yeah.
About how that influences the art, and that's kind of the point. Like if I just had all the time in the world, and all of the ability to just sit here and tweak and then put this thing out, it's much more about having that pressure on you that influences the final product, to where then when you watch the final product and you're like, I see why that decision was made right there. And so this period of my life and my creative process has been really illuminating because of that. So I'm really grateful for that because I've learned a lot these past few months with releasing the album and then the music video.
Gotcha. That's really cool that you can see not just the growth in yourself as an artist, but have it just reflected in your product, not your product, but your art that you put out there. That's really cool.
I totally agree with that. And it's the first time in my life when that's happened actually that way. Where I had that realization, like, oh, this, most artists feel this way. This is kind of like when you're trying to release something, it's just about like making a decision for better or for worse, and then here it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
But there's peace in that, there's peace in that because like, okay, I made this decision in this moment.
Yeah.
So that can help you when you look back on it. You can say, well, I made that decision because I thought it was the right one.
Right. Right. And it becomes like some sort of living journal for yourself as well. So you say, why did I make that decision? Oh yeah, that's what I was going through at that moment, or that's where I was in my journey, and that's why I decided that way. That's really cool.
Totally. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Now, Down Honey, it opens the whole album for you, correct? For What Happened to Schoolboy, and it's the first thing that people hear. What did it feel like to write that song and set it in the Schoolboy world in motion?
That song came it evolved over a period of time. It started around the same time that I released my 2023 EP. I
Okay.
started to write this song around that same time. And I didn't really have a chorus for it. And I started it on the ukulele, just playing two chords. And so I didn't know what it was going to turn into. Uh, but as time went by and I started to, play around with the song in my program, my recording program, um, and let the song sort of try to show me where it wanted to go.
Hmm.
That's when it started to evolve into the song that we hear now. But it took a while because I didn't really know where I wanted it to go. Um, and I knew that I wanted to experiment a lot more with sounds and textures and recording techniques when I was going into this album. So I let myself have a lot more space in
Uh-huh.
the recording process to just experiment with a lot of different things, which is why like in the chorus there's this synthesizer that's just like almost relentless, just like playing three notes, just over and over and over again. And I found that randomly while I was recording one night, and so I was trying to mix that into the ukulele song that I had written that didn't have a chorus, but also fit the bass guitar in there because that's just what I love. I love the bass,
Right.
and I wanted to fit that in there. So having all of these things come together took a little bit because I didn't know like I didn't hear in my head the Down Honey that we hear now. I didn't really hear anything. I was just like, let me try to see where I can go with this thing. But I'm happy with the way it turned out. And like we were talking about with the finish line, it took a little bit to reach that finish line, but I look back on it now and it's I'm proud of it.
That's very cool. It's like you have all the puzzle pieces, but you don't know what the final image is until you start just shaping it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a puzzle. And I remind myself of that all the time. I'm like, this is a puzzle, just try to figure it out. Just you got to keep hope alive while you're in there. Like this will work out if I
Yeah.
just put my head down and work on this.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that's one of the greatest things I love to hear from artists is when they have this passion for their projects. And even if it takes 3, 5, 10 years to finally realize the full vision of it, that you stuck with something for so long just to, because it was in your heart and your soul and you wanted to share it with everyone. I think that's the greatest thing ever.
that's such a powerful statement too, because um, when I started, I really didn't know anything about music. Like I'd taken music lessons and I'd grown up in the theater around music, but I didn't know anything. Definitely not about recording. And so where I'm at now in my journey, which is somebody who's been, I put my first song out in 2019. Um, I'm at a place now to where I look back on that, and that person that started this whole thing, who didn't know anything, who was kind of naive, and was just like, I'm gonna make music, and just had this belief that's inspiring me now because then when you realize how much you don't know, and it can be a little shocking. It can kind of paralyze you sometimes. Like, oh, I'm wading
Yeah.
into a very deep pool here. Uh, but when I look back on my younger self and like, no, that kid was just gonna do it. You
Yeah.
know, I don't feel like that kid anymore, but he inspires me to be like, well, he believed that I could do it, so I've started this, so now let's keep going.
Yeah.
Uh, So that's very powerful the way you put that, because I feel that way most of the time.
Excellent, excellent. You mentioned community theater, and I know in our written interview that we did a while back, that was a big part of how you learned or captured your creative voice. Do you still do any sort of acting, or do you miss it at all, or how does that work out for you?
So I went through a period where I was trying to watch as many films as I could,
Hmm.
uh, because I felt like there was a period like a few years ago where I just didn't feel like I knew anything about art. Even
Hmm.
though I'd been involved in the arts my whole life, I was like, I don't know, I don't know anything. So I just was trying to watch as many films as I could, which I still am, but not as uh, on a strict schedule, because I'm trying to work more on recording and music videos and stuff like that. But I I don't miss it because I'm so fulfilled with the music right now and the recording, and I found peace with the artistic spirit inside of myself,
Hmm.
to where I can just I get as much fulfillment out of sitting and listening to a vinyl record as I ever did being on stage. And even though I wrestle with the recording process, um, I never feel like I can come to terms with it, with the ending,
Hmm.
and then move on and listen back. And like we were talking about, like knowing that I made a certain decision because I had a certain time span to do it.
Yeah.
When I was acting, it never felt like it always felt like a reach, you know.
Okay. Okay.
It always felt uh like I'm still looking, which
Yeah.
that's part of it. That's part of it, and I think that's kind of the nature of the beast. But I'm so much more at peace now than I ever was then with the music.
Gotcha.
And that's the reason why truly I chose to pivot away from
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
But I still get to use that muscle when we do like a music video, like Down Honey,
Yeah.
uh, because I and it feels so much more in service of something that means so much more to me. Uh, because it's just this whole thing is helping me unearth so much about myself that when I do a music video now, it feeds into the whole thing. Uh, it's so much more powerful to me.
And that's why I love music videos. It's like this accumulation of every sort of artistic aspect that you have inside of yourself. It's yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Down Honey, and we talked a little bit about this. When I was watching it last night, I got these vibes of like Nine Inch Nails Closer with the imagery. I'm not sure if you've seen that video or not, but it just really jumps back and forth to different imagery, and it's really great. And I really appreciate you putting your artistic self out there in that regard.
That's so cool, my friend. I need to do more of a deep dive on Nine Inch Nails. Uh, my girlfriend and I actually watched the recent Tron movie in the
Yeah,
IMAX
yeah.
in
Hmm.
3D, and that was like the craziest thing that's ever happened. And we got the soundtrack on vinyl, and she'll like run to it while this crazy music is going. But when you're talking about the cuts, that's something that I'm definitely trying to like keep in mind while we do one of these.
Hmm.
Um, because there are times in the music video when the cuts are quick,
Yeah.
and like the shot is kind of shaky as I'm
Yep.
going into the forest. Which I like that because I wanted it to be like almost almost can't even tell what's happening, but I'm walking into something,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
that's the entire theme of the album is you don't know what's happening, but you're walking into something.
Right.
And so, but then I love playing around with the fact like when you get to the second chorus, there aren't any cuts at all in the music video. It's just me with my hands
Hmm.
going and playing with the light a little bit. Um, so that was definitely a thought in my mind as I was editing this video, was how can I do like you're talking about, to where we've got quick cuts, but then making a conscious decision to, okay, let's let this breathe.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Hmm.
and then that grabs your attention because it's been cutting, and then, oh no, it's not cutting anymore, you know?
Hmm.
Uh, and that's
Hmm.
always what I'm thinking about, is always making it an intentional decision, whatever it is, you
Yeah,
know. I don't. I love happy accidents, and I love hearing something that's not there, but I don't want anything to be dead weight, I guess you could say. I always
makes
want it to
sense.
be leading to the bigger picture.
Makes perfect sense. And when you have that vision of what you want it to be, it's a lot easier to edit it out and get rid of that dead weight. Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm a photographer as well, and I'm a big fan of use of light, or in your case, in some of the shots, the absence of light. So I think that's really cool. I was appreciating the artistic duality of that during the watching the video.
Absolutely, my friend. And I liked there was a shot in this movie. I don't know what year it is, but it's the movie Scream, but it's not Wes Craven's Scream.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
and it's this wild movie about these people who find, like, it's almost incoherent. But I was watching this movie last summer, and it's they go to this old like Western gold rush town or whatever. They like find it and it's empty, and then weird things start to happen to them. And there's one shot where there's light like across the way, and it just flashes.
Okay.
And then you never know what that was about at all. But it's like it gave me chill bumps when I saw it, like goosebumps. I'm like, what in the world is that? And
Hmm.
so like I'm that was in my mind too while I was watching while we were creating this video, was what if that's the way that I'm beckoned into this forest, is using that sort of unsettling idea of a light beckoning to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
that you follow. So we were definitely trying to tap into that with this video.
Very cool. Very cool. Did growing up or being in Louisiana influence your artistic choices for the music video? I mean, your the vampire rock, I know New Orleans and vampires, they're very synonymous with one another. Did that play any role in what you decided for the video?
It totally did, because I realized how much Louisiana had influenced the album.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
and I didn't realize that at first until it like people started asking me, Louisiana, you're from, and then I started thinking, oh, what inspired this album was me looking at a tree at nighttime and hearing all of this wildlife and these birds chirping and all of this stuff. And when you go outside at night, in the summertime, it's like the air is so thick and heavy. And so when I was recording this album, I was thinking about, there's this forest, like not a forest, but like there are just all these trees around. Uh, and I started to realize, oh, we just think that we are running the show, like as human beings, but these animals are actually, we're in their
Yeah.
world, because I'm looking up and I see all these trees. Uh, so then when I realized, oh, wait a second, those are like, that's not everybody. We're in Louisiana, and that's happening here to me. Then it, like, the light bulb went off. I'm like, oh, Louisiana inspired this whole thing. Um, so I was like, I have an opportunity here to show that off, show that
Yeah.
atmosphere off with this video. Um, which is why we were like, I had an idea for the story, but I wanted to just, like, when we shot the video, we shot it at the end of May, and we just like went into this wooded area, and like things were walking around us, and things were like biting us, and like body got bit by like a million different things. I had like all these bug bites on my legs for like weeks. I mean, they're still on there. And it was like, I don't know what bit me, but something did. Like
Hmm.
And so we were just out there, and like I wanted the shot so badly. There was an owl like making sound, and
Hmm.
you could hear it in the distance, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if we could get an owl for this music video. We weren't able to do it, but then we like heard things wandering around us. Everybody was freaked out because we were just in this in the forest at night, like what is about to happen. uh
Right.
yeah. Oh, and then funny story, Rex, the guy, my brother who plays in the band, who plays bass, he like raced away after we shot the video, and we couldn't find the keys to the car.
Oh no.
We couldn't find the keys to the car, and our phones were like wouldn't call him. Couldn't
Right.
call him. So like we're like calling him, and it was literally like we were in a horror movie because we're in
Uh-huh.
this like secluded area. Rex is raced up, and we're like, "What happened to Rex? Where'd he go?" Finally, and then my brother Nate was like, "Oh man, the keys are in my pocket," and we're like,
Oh,
what in the world, man? What in the world?" So yeah, like it's a total Louisiana video. I mean, we were like
yeah.
really tapping into some real stuff there. So yeah, total Louisiana vibe, man.
That's fun. That's really fun. I mean, yeah, I've been in the woods at night, and it is something different. The sound of the night is quite different than what you see during the day. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like something else happens, man. Something else happens, but it's cool, but it's also unsettling. Uh,
Hmm.
which is where the vampire, I guess that's the way you could describe vampire rock. Cool, but unsettling.
I
You
like
know?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I challenge you then for your next single to take all your recording instruments, go out into the woods at night, and record the ambient sound of the woods along with your music. That'd be cool.
I love that idea. That's a fantastic idea. Yes. Yeah. Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
There you go. um, so what's something maybe that you believed 10 years ago that you don't anymore?
Something that I believed 10 years ago
Yeah.
that I don't. Oh, I'll tell you this, that music or art had to be angsty in order to be deep, or
I like that.
moody, or yeah, or sad.
Hmm.
I don't necessarily think sad songs are deep. Uh I've actually believed totally the opposite. I believe that it's easy to be sad and write a sad song. I think it's incredibly difficult to uh, to write something that's hopeful, and inspire hope in people,
Like
and just be,
true.
look at things through a positive lens. Because I used to be somebody who was very much, had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and
Hmm.
but and I was attracted to the kind of artists who were sort of more tortured. But now I'm find a lot more inspiration in looking for the positive and helping bring people up. I definitely
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
great
That is
question. That's right.
that is really cool. I really like that. It is I recently started dabbling in songwriting, so I can completely understand what you just said, how it's easier to write the sad songs, but finding the hope and writing that and sharing that and lifting other people up, that is trickier. But it is more rewarding. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And the person who did it, I talk about him all the time, but Paul McCartney did that to me, is because
Mm-hmm.
I was so young, and I'd be like, the Beatles only have one good song. And it's Eleanor Rigby, and maybe Come Together. And then like I would listen to them more and more, and I'd be like, no, their power comes from their ability to do the Yellow Submarine or the Octopus's Garden, where it's like, where the heck did, or Maxwell's Silver Hammer. This wild stuff, man, that makes then when they go heavy, it
Mm-hmm.
makes it so much more powerful
Yep.
because they pick and choose, those different moments. So yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite Beatles song now then?
Oh goodness. I love I've Got a Feeling, and I love
Oh,
Get
okay.
Back.
Mm-hmm.
I, Get Back is what turned me on
Okay.
them. Um, Probably Get Back. If you would have asked me a few years ago, I probably, because I was so deep into their music, but I had to kind of give myself a little bit of a break, or I wasn't ever going to be able to listen to that stuff again. It was just going to be like, yeah, let's say Get Back. I love Get Back.
Awesome. That's a great song. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think my parents, my mom in particular, put me on to the Beatles when I was young.
Uh-huh.
And then like you took a break from them because this is my mom's music. I don't want to hear it. But as growing up, you realize they are such fantastic songwriters, fantastic musicians, that it isn't just my parents' music. It's music that spans generations. Yeah.
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely. But that's very true. Sometimes that'll happen. You gotta sometimes, that can definitely happen because stuff has happened like that to me where I'm like, oh, that belongs to so and so, or oh, this was that. But then as time goes on, you can, yeah.
Yeah. Is there any book, film, or piece of art that on the Beatles that generally changed how you see things?
I started to watch a lot of John Carpenter's films,
Oh, okay.
and that's like a very new thing, um, to me. I wasn't watching a whole lot of spooky movies growing up,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like these classic horror movies. Because I would honestly get very scared. I was scared very easily, and sometimes now I'll still get a little weirded out. But um, John Carpenter is very much a newfound favorite of mine. Um, he when I started by watching his movie The Fog.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Love that one, and I was thinking about it again today. And so I'm always looking for that moment, like you're talking about, where you find your new lightning bolt of inspiration.
Yeah.
Uh, Love John Carpenter. Last year, I found the movie Inferno by Dario Argento,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a wild movie, but I really like that one. I really like, and so these are new things that I'm picking up. Also, I'm listening to like more instrumental music now.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
and there's a new band called the Animeros. Dan Auerbach produces, and I
Okay.
really like them right now too. And that's sort of like a new thing too. I wasn't into a lot of instrumental music uh, coming up or growing up, but I really like it now. Oh yeah, also I'm listening to. I haven't done too much of a deep dive, but Henry Mancini, who does like a lot of
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
I just got a bunch of his vinyls, so I'm like tapping into
Very
that
cool.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cool. Draw a
So
lot
I'm
of
always
inspiration.
looking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to. I always like going finding the stuff that is kind of like different than rock and roll to try to bring that into the rock and roll somehow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. So here's a fun little question for you. So if Skullboy showed up in real life at your door, just knocking on it, what do you think he'd want?
that's a good question. So what would Skullboy want? That's kind of the whole idea of the album is
Mm,
that he's wanting to stick around.
got it.
He's wanting to stay. He's his ultimate desire is to be who he once was, which was this person who had everything, ultimate power, ultimate influence, everything, could do whatever he wanted to do. But now he's been around for way too long, and so he's decaying. Uh, and so I think he would want. I think that's just absolutely what he wants. Any way to go back to the way he was. Let's do it. Is what he's thinking. I'll give
Yeah.
you anything. Yeah.
It's like, Jackson, write me a sequel so I could stick around longer.
Oh man, we're working on it right now. We're working
Okay.
on it. And I
With
was burning the midnight oil last night, working on it as well. So
very cool.
it's on the way. It's on the way.
Very cool. Yeah, that's going to be my final question. What's next for you? What are you excited about right now?
I'm so excited to work on new music right now, and I'm also very interested in working on some new music videos. But that will we'll see what comes of that. But the new music is definitely at the forefront of my mind. Finding new techniques in this new music, new recording techniques, new effects, new mixing techniques, mixing and mastering techniques. We got the tape machine serviced and fixed
Very cool.
that the album was mastered on. So now I'm really itching to get that thing back fired up and running. Um, Definitely very inspired to start some new tunes. I want to get the bass going again. We need some more bass. We need some more guitar and some more drums, and just some more choruses that make you stop, and
Yeah.
that are arresting. Whoa, what's that? That's what I love. Because I love recording it and putting everything I have into the recording and fleshing out this world. And then when my brothers and I go play live, just like the feeling of, guys, I got some new music. Let's work on this. And like playing a new song is just great.
Yeah.
It helps me feel like my time is spent the correct way, is when I'm doing this.
Love that. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, Jackson, thank you so much for spending some time with us here at SONIQLOOX. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, my friend. This is such a pleasure and such an incredible opportunity. Thank you for all your support and the time to talk about this. This means the world to me.
Awesome. Everyone out there, go follow Jackson. Go listen to his music, stream it online, watch the music video, go follow him on YouTube, subscribe, and let's lift him up and get his music shared worldwide.
Amazing. Thank you so much, my friend.